Welcome to Complexity Made Simple. My name is Paul Allen, and before we get into today's video, well, I'm just going to remind you the 3 books that are on sale. Drink tea and read the paper. If you're a green belt and a black belt and you want simple instruction on how to apply your skill, design of experiments for 21st century engineers, and finally, a statistical process control for small batch production. They are all available from lulu.com and the links are in the video below. Welcome to Complexity Made Simple. My name is Paul Allen and the subject of today's newsletter is lean planning. How to plan properly to take away those 2 evils of unevenness, mura, and overburden, muri. So let's have a look at this. We're going to talk about lean planning and what this basically means is flattening the plan, making the same thing every day, every week, or every month. And people always say to me, Paul, we can't do this. Our customers don't buy our products like that. They say, our demand looks like this. We don't have flat demand. Well, you don't have flat demand, and you could try and follow this if you want. By the way, this will be a random number. So if you think about this is like rolling a dice. If you think about a dice being this demand, if I rolled a dice, what would I get? Well, I'd get some random number. Would I be able to predict what the demand's going to be this week coming from my customer? Because it does feel like sometimes they're using a flipping dice, doesn't it, to decide what comes next. So of course people say we can't predict what's next. We can't have a flat plan. It doesn't work, it doesn't work, it doesn't work here. Yeah, we're not Toyota. Toyota must be doing something special. Okay, what can I predict for a dice? I can't predict the exact number, can I? But a 6-sided dice, what do I know? Well, I know what the middle is going to be. And the middle is going to be the average. And in this case, if it was a dice, it's going to be 3.5. Now, let's think about what the planner is dealing with for a second. The planner has got 2 problems on his hands. If he underproduces, because he's scared of stockouts. Okay, so he has to take that's in his mind as he's planning. Okay, he's scared of stockouts. But of course, on the other side, he's got the financial guy bearing down on him going, what's all this stock doing around the place? And we haven't got a warehouse, we've got off-site warehousing, etc. So of course, he's also scared of overproducing. Okay, because it costs money and it costs space. Okay, so he's got those 2 things. And of course, what he's trying to do is balance those 2 competing challenges out when he makes a plan. Now, what's the average? Think about this for a second. The balance. What's the average through your demand? The average through your demand is the middle of the data set. This is what the average is. It's the middle of a data set. Well, if it's a good middle of the data set, it's an estimate of the middle, by the way. If it's a good middle, guess what will happen? 50% of the time, you'll slightly overproduce, but 50% of the time, you'll slightly underproduce. But you know where you'll be most of the time? Slap bang where you need to be, which is exactly where the planner needs to be. So instead of making it complicated and underproducing until you stock out, then panicking and overproducing until the financial director gives you a slap and says, can we reduce the stock levels please? and you keep swinging from one to the other. And of course, what do you create then? Well, you create the famous Muri, which is overburden if you keep doing that. People don't know what to do, they don't have much space, they don't have much people, they don't know what they're doing, they don't know how much capacity they need. Underproduce, overproduce, underproduce, overproduce. How do you plan anything for that? You put the balance point, which is the average, and then what you do is you let a pull signal deal with the variability. And this is what pull signals do, this is what pull systems do. Let's just draw this up, look. This is your stock level. This is your pull system, this is your Kanban. Yeah, you're gonna have some trigger in here maybe. It's gonna tell you to make or tell you to buy, whatever it happens to be. Of course, what are we doing? Well, pulling out of that stock, we have this crazy demand. By the way, demand isn't like this. It's never like this if you think about it logically. If you think about where all your parts are going often, I mean, one of my clients has got crazy demand like this. They're sending parts to Boeing. And I always say to them, do they make jumbo jets like that? There's a production line. It's just ticking along. But there's some crazy fool in Boeing keeps buying more, buying less, buying more, buying less, because he's got this problem as well. And he's pushing crazy demand patterns into you that don't really exist. What really exists is a production line that's just ticking along at a constant speed. And that's what you really should be tuned into. But anyway, so your customer is pushing this crazy demand pattern into you. You've got your stock level. And what you're going to do, and let's say, by the way, the average that they're pulling, we'll say, is 10 a week. All right, so we keep it simple. What do I want you to do? Well, I want the planner in your factory. The plan is going to say 10 a week. Completely flat plan for that product. You're just going to bang, bang, bang. You're going to do 10 every week, whilst your crazy customers taking more, taking less, taking more, taking less. Now, what happens in here? Well, the pull system, this is your pull system. Your pull system now is simply a shock absorber, and that's all it is. It's just a shock absorber. So is your crazy customer is taking more, taking less, but you're making the middle. Of course, on average, they'll take a little bit more off you. What will happen? Your stock level will go down. But of course, on average, they'll take a bit less than you want. Of course, what will happen? Your stock level will go up. Your stock level now is simply a shock absorber. What's the factory scene? 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. You're taking away unevenness, Mura. So this stuff's going. Think how easy this is to plan, people, machinery, space, everything like that. You're getting rid of unevenness, and because you're getting rid of unevenness, you're getting rid of overburden, and now you can make the 7 wastes go away. But that's the way to do it. Just tune into the average, plan the average, stick it in the plan and make it happen. I know it's too simple, but it's what the best lean companies in the world do, and then they make pots of money. And that's what this is about. Lean planning. Flatten the plan, make it easy to get rid of waste and make money.